Hey everybody, I'm Kelly from Rosebud Art and Soul Designs and welcome to my channel. I'm happy you guys are here today. Today we're unboxing a SketchBox from April. We're going to take a look to see what goodies are inside the box. We're going to be testing them out and we're going to be discussing all the supplies. Whether you're an experienced artist or a beginner artist, I hope you take this creative journey with me. I hope this video inspires you to pick up some supplies and create something beautiful with me today. If you enjoy tutorials, paint parties, or any creative inspirations, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and comment, and hit the notification bell. Alright, let's get unboxing. Okay, so this is my sketchbook. It comes monthly. I'm a little bit behind, so we're on April, and we're going to do May, and then we have June. So normally when you get the box, it comes like this, and then it always comes like packaged just like this. They always give you what's inside the box, and they give you a mini tutorial what to do with the supplies that are inside the box. So in this box, it looks like it's watercolors. So a little palette. So it's an empty palette. And then here is some pigments. So we'll go through those. Here is the gum Arabic. They give you a paintbrush. They gave me a pink brush pen. And we got some watercolor paper. And we always get a sticker. Alright, so let's move forward with testing out these materials. Alright, so I've just opened up the packages. So watercolor comes in many different formats. This one happens to come in a powder format. We mostly know it as a palette. For those of you guys who have used watercolors as children, you would have used the watercolors with from a Crayola. But this one is a powder. So what you would typically do with the powder is you would take a scoop, okay, and you would just put it right there. And this gum Arabic is, just make sure you shake this up really good. I like to make sure I tap it on my wrist. And all you do is you take some of this and you pour it in and you make your own watercolor. So I'm just going to use the back of the brush right now just to make sure I mix this up. So I just use like 3 or 4 drops of that. And I'm just going to wipe that off on a paper towel to the side. And you can do that for each color. So what's great is this lasts a lot longer, especially if you, a lot of people like to use liquid watercolor as well. Now liquid watercolor comes straight out of the tube as water. So sometimes that will evaporate a little bit more. So I'm just taking a little bit, putting it there. So 2, 3, 4. And again, it all depends on how much powder you put in. So you might have to put like maybe 6 or 7. So you have a good consistency of color. Basically until all the powder is gone. To see what other colors we got going on here. This one is like a gray purple tone. Oops, made a mess. And try to avoid making a mess. What's great is these come out like this, so then you could just take it and just pour it into the one next to it. Now the reason why I'm going like every other one is sometimes as an artist you guys like to mix color and make your own. Oh, so when you actually mix this one, it comes out like a purple. So you would just use these like regular watercolor. You would just add water to them as you are painting. So again, I'm just grabbing each color, opening it up for you guys. Ooh, this is a metallic gold. I really have not truly experimented with this too much, this type of watercolors. So I have tried it a couple of times, but it's not what my go-to. And a lot of times this is what people normally would make their own watercolor bases out of, and that's a pretty gold one. And then this last one looks like lime green. Okay. Put that to the side. Get a little bit more of this stuff. And this is just a little, it's more like a thickening agent, so it's more like a gel to give you that watercolor. Okay. That's mixed up very well. Okay. So I'm just going to put those to the side. So they gave you cold press. So cold press has more of a texture, so you're just going to feel which side has more of the texture. I'm just going to tape that down to my table. And what's fun about SketchBox, sorry. What's fun about SketchBox is they kind of give you mini tutorials. So you learn how to use the materials if you have never used the material before. So we'll probably go see what kind of tutorial they have. So I like to get these sketch boxes for my students. So if those of you guys who do not know me, I am a high school art teacher. So I do teach art. And I do have students who are in the AP program, which is the college level class. And they like to experiment with different things for their project. So I'm just going to get some water. I'm just going to do like a little brush thing. So right now this brush is very dry. You can tell it's been brand new. It's not even broken up yet. So I'm going to just dip it in some water. Just to kind of like take off. Sometimes it has gunk on the end, so you want to make sure you take that gunk off. So what I want to do first is I want to kind of like lay down some water. Oh, all right. And again, this is just like watercolor. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to dip this into a little bit of the color. And you can see how I just dipped that. And it's spread out just like watercolors, which is kind of fun. So what I'm doing is a wet on wet technique. So what a wet on wet technique is, you wet the paper first with water. Oh, it has a little bit of a blue tone in this color too. Look at that. And you kind of pick up your color while it's wet, and you dip it, put it on down to that wet surface. And you can kind of tell it kind of spread it out a little bit. So I'm just adding some colors into the sky area. Again, making sure my brush is wet before I put it down. Sometimes it will blend in with each other, sometimes it's not. What's fun about colors like this is you can always play around with them. So if I need to add more water there, and then take this and then drop it in. Just like that. And what's great about this, the powder pigments, is you can kind of see how the colors are going to lie. Just like that. So I'm just going to try to make this straight. So we have like sort of like a horizon line. So you can kind of see what that did there. Now, you would wait for this to dry, or if you have a heat gun, you guys can use a heat gun. So I'm actually going to take some more of this lighter purple and add that into the sky here. And kind of mix the colors on the palette. Because I want to actually take that blue-green. I'm going to do this on a dry. I'm just going to take that and see, this is dry, so you can see the difference between a dry palette and a wet palette, a wet on wet. And if you want to, you can always take water. So I'm noticing that the water is activating the colors inside of the colors. So it's going from this green color to this bluish teal color, which is pretty cool. Now, because it's still wet up here, it's kind of bleeding out a little bit, which is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Now, what you can do, because that's wet, is you can mimic what's on top towards the bottom to sort of like have that reflection of the sky. As well. And you can just play around with it. Now you can also wait for areas to dry if you want more of a pigment tone to anything. That would be my suggestion. You would wait for areas to dry. I really want to try this gold color and put some gold here. Let's see what that looks like. That's pretty cool. Add some shimmer into the water. So that is April's SketchBox materials watercolor. So now I would just wait for this to dry, and when this dries, it would be easy then just to lift up your paint. So I have created clean edges. If your tape gets stuck, again, a heat gun works wonders so you don't rip your paper. So if you feel like it's going to rip your paper, I would just get a heat gun so it doesn't rip. So again, if you like tutorials like this, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification button so you get more notifications about tutorials like this. Thank you guys and have a great day.